One of the first things that people ask when I introduce this platform is whether or not they can set price alerts and be pinged on their phone or email if a market gets to a certain level. So I want to go over that real quick. In the previous video, I mentioned that on the right-hand panel, there is a menu that can be expanded. If you click on the bell icon, it'll bring up an alerts window. I don't currently have any alerts set. This is a demo, and unfortunately the demo, at least my version of the demo, doesn't facilitate alerts, but I can show you where to find them, how they are set up, and what to look for. If I click on this add alert plus sign icon, I can choose between adding an alert on an account or adding a price alert. You may want to add an alert on your account if you want the system to force liquidate a trade if your net liquidation gets to a certain value, or if the position goes against you X number of dollars, or if the market hits a specific price, you may want to tell the system to liquidate it. Now, a lot of those things can be done by using simple stop orders. So while some people use this feature, stop orders are probably a better way to do it, but to each their own. If you did want to enter some sort of alert on your account to either notify you if the balance gets to a certain level or notify you if a position gets underwater by a certain amount, you could do it here. Now, it does take a little bit of learning. There's a button here that says Alert Help. If you click on that, it'll take you to a written tutorial on how to specifically do it. But it does take a little bit of programming knowledge. You can see if I click on Condition and I click this button to add a new formula, it will allow you to enter a formula into the window. It's not quite as hard as it sounds, but it's a little above my pay scale, I'll be honest. But there's a lot of very smart computer programmers out there that love to do this stuff. So if that's you, go for it. If you need some help, you can click on Formula Help and you could probably figure it out on your own. Today I'm going to focus on price alerts, which is a little simpler and more straightforward. If I go back to this plus button and I click price alert, it takes me to a page that allows me to choose a symbol. I'm just going to do the S&P to keep it easy. And I can click on the condition drop down and I can choose best bid ask spread. That's probably not going to be pertinent to a futures trader, but if you're trading options, that might be what you want to set it at, just simply because, for example, if you're trading a gold option and gold's up or down $50, your option may or may not actually price, or I'm sorry, your option may or may not actually trade at the high or low price of the day. In other words, if your options were 20 points coming into the day, and at some point throughout the day, it's worth 40 points, but by the time the market closes, or the next time that option trades, maybe that option's only worth 30 points, your price alert may not have triggered. It probably wouldn't have triggered because it never actually traded there or settled there. That happens a lot in option trading because options don't trade fluidly like futures do. They trade a handful of times a day maybe, sometimes less than that, sometimes more. But there's no guarantee that when the markets are at their extreme levels that those options are actually going to trade. In fact, more often than not, they don't. So if you set your option price limit using the best bid ask, it doesn't have to trade there for your alert to trigger. It just simply has to reach that price level. If you're trading futures, you're probably better off choosing high or low, the high of the day, the low of the day. I personally choose trade. I'm just basically saying if the S&P trades above or below a certain area, let me know. So that's the type of price alert I would most normally use. You can also choose the net change on the day. For example, if you want to know every time the S&P is up 30 points in a particular trading session, you could click this, set your parameters, and it's basically going to tell you every single day that happens between now and your expiration date, whichever date you decide that is going to be. You can do the same thing with percentage change if you want to know if the S&P is up or down 2% on any particular day and have the system reach out to you and let you know if that occurs. You can set a standing price alert for that. If you're somebody that pays attention to volume, you could also set volume triggers. So once you choose the condition and above, below, or equal to, you can pick your price. I'm just going to type in a random price in the S&P. As I mentioned, it's a demo. It's working on delayed data, so the system will not allow us to actually enter a price alert, but this should be enough to get you started if that's what you want to do at any particular time. You can choose trigger once or trigger every time. If you choose every time, this alert will basically work on your behalf and notify you every time the S&P reaches above 5,900 within this time frame. Whatever you choose is your expiration. Your expiration might be tomorrow, it might be in May, whatever it is, it's going to let you know every time if you choose trigger every time. If you want to send yourself a reminder of why you're setting this alert, maybe it's monitor position, maybe it's get out, who knows, but you can send yourself a message if you'd like. These alerts will sound on the platform if you have your platform open. They will also ping your Android or Apple phone app if you have the app installed on your phone. And you can choose to send yourself an email if you'd like to do it that way. So whether you're on the run and you're working or your mind is somewhere else, you can make sure that you know if things are going either for you or against you to a certain price point by simply entering an alert and allowing it to ping your phone, your computer platform, assuming it's up and running, and your email inbox. In the next section of the tutorial, we're going to talk about viewing, navigating, and customizing charts.